incidents of threats, either in person or over telephones or through other communications devices, have given great concern to members for the safety of themselves and their families.
Welcome back to Hardball. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer. You just saw him there. He says he's concerned that at least 10 House members have received threats, serious threats, some of the ones you know about already, death threats to members, smashed windows at members' offices and at local Democratic headquarters around the country, vandalism at the homes of members' relatives. Well, James Clyburn is the House Majority Whip, the top man. Congratulations. I've never seen you so happy. I'm watching you there a minute ago, Mr. Clyburn, and you haven't seen us happy since I met you. So congratulations. You won. And in America, winning counts. Let me ask you about the dangers of winning. You've incited some anger out there on the floor of the House. Lines like "baby killer," "you lie," is inciting people out in the streets to get violent.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Chris. And yes, I am pretty happy right now. You know, I think that one of the things we have to be very, very careful of in our society is that we don't ruin the possibilities of us operating in a civil manner. I think that when you see people on the floor, as we saw, cheering those people who are up in the balcony, jeering, there's something wrong with that. That it violates the quorum of the House, but it also helps to incite people. And I think that what we saw on Sunday and Saturday is a throwback to a time that all of us thought we had behind us. All of this is not about health care. These people were ginned up in such a way and had posters that went far beyond whether or not this bill ought to not pass. Those kinds of things we have got to stop, and they are being egged on by people who ought to know better.
Well, you know, there's a lot of talk about whether Tea Partiers are a separate party or they're just Republicans at a meeting. Let's take a look at these latest numbers. The Quinnipiac poll, Congressman, shows that 74% of Tea Partiers are self-described Republicans. Well, that's three-quarters. Only 1 in 6, 16 say they're Democrats. They must be conservative Democrats, I guess. What do you make of that? I mean, are they just, is this just another name for Republican? Tea Party?
Oh, I think so. There's no question about it. They are an arm of the Republican Party. No question about that. And I think that people should understand that more than anything else. If 75% of them identify themselves as Republicans, I suspect that in that other 25 or 26%, whatever it is, you'll find a few Republican leanings in there as well. So I believe we know that they came here to try to intimidate, try to stop this vote. They had to know that we were not going to be intimidated. I hope they know that. So there's something else going on here that's churning up people for other activities down the road. Look, we're going to soon get to dealing with this issue of immigration. And I'm afraid that if we don't tamp this down now, that controversial issue could very well generate something that could lead to some catastrophic events.
Let's talk to a case in point. Here's the brick thrown through the window of that Rochester, New York Democratic headquarters. The note attached says, "Extremism in defense of liberty is no vice." That's, of course, the Barry Goldwater slogan from way back in '64 in a different, more frightening context. Now, the person who's apparently egged that person on, the person who took credit for encouraging people to smash windows, said this in a radio interview. Let's listen to this fellow. His name is Vanderbilt.
There are rifles being cleaned right now. Do you folks understand?
Being what? Claimed from where?
There are rifles being taken out of the closet and cleaned.
Well, there you have it. He's talking about people, you know, locking and loading and all that sort of stuff and getting their rifles cleaned for action. And he's encouraging it, this blogger. He's apparently the guy who's got behind this brick throwing. People are coming out of the closet, if you will, and they're saying that they're dangerous people and they want to make other people dangerous.
Well, you know, when you hear that kind of talk, and you look on Sarah Palin's website and see she's got crosshairs there targeting people who voted for this bill. Now, why not put a star there, a check mark? To put the crosshairs there of a rifle tends to give credence to this sort of thing. And then we heard the head of the Republican Party, Mr. Steele, saying something about shooting the speaker down. I forgot what it was, but it implied a violent action.
Sure.
This stuff is beyond the pale. And they need to stop this, because I can tell you, I've seen how these things escalate. People out there in the streets get their signals, or what they think are their signals, from the people in positions like we hold. And so if we don't disown that and go get our people to move beyond that, if we participate in it, either from the balcony or on the floor of the House, you are aiding and abetting this kind of terrorism, really.
Well, you know, you're getting language from Bill McCollum, the former member down running for governor of Florida. You know, he's referring to the health care bill that you got passed, helped to get passed, as an invasion of the sovereignty of Florida. They're using secessionist language. I saw the Gadsden flag from South Carolina flying over the balcony of the Capitol, being waved by members of Congress. The Gadsden flag was the "Don't Tread on Me" flag of the Republic. Absolutely. That we used to fight the British with. They are treating our central government in Washington as the enemy, as if it's a foreign government. And that's the way Bill McCollum's talking. They're using the language of nullification and even of secession in Texas. Yeah. And now Bill McCollum's using, there he is, the Gadsden flag. That was the flag we used to form our republic when we were fighting the British. That's the way that, what's going on here? I mean, this is real symbolism of almost a mutiny. Yes,
and as you know, Bill McCollum is a former member of this body. And so that in and of itself signals something to me. Let me tell you, I think that the attorneys general that have been filing these lawsuits, it's sort of reminiscent, you know, of those people who resisted the fundamental rights like voting. All we're trying to do here is get rid of discrimination against people with pre-existing conditions. Stop discriminating against women who are paying twice for their premiums that men pay for them. Stop discriminating against people who get catastrophic illnesses. That's all we're doing, trying to say, let's put health care on an equal footing for everybody, make it accessible, make it affordable, make it accountable. This is not about anything that's foreign to what a democracy ought to be.
You know, I was amazed. I'm, like you, I study history, and I realized that Richard Nixon, who was hardly a left-winger, advocated an employer mandate back in the 70s. Mitt Romney up in Massachusetts signed a bill that requires people to have health insurance. Out in California, Schwarzenegger's done it. I mean, this isn't left-wing politics. This is, well, at most it's center-left, if not center. You know what's how do they get away with this socialist thing they keep throwing at you guys?
You know what's so interesting? I have had my staff chart Bob Dole's plan back in 1994 that he offered up as an alternative to the plan being pushed by President Clinton. We tracked it, except for Medicaid expansion in our plan and the absence of medical malpractice. They are exactly the same things. This plan is so close to Bob Dole's plan, it ain't funny. And so this is nothing that's not been put on the table by Republicans time and time again. It's just that these people have decided to try to deny this president.
And now they're resorted to rock throwing. Anyway, thank you very much, U.S. Congressman Jim Clyburn. Again, I know you're happy and proud because this is history that was made this week. And if you're opposed to it, you still have to recognize it as history. Anyway, thank you, sir, for coming on.